Good morning, everybody. We have a mostly higher trade in the grain markets here early on Friday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. December corn futures up another 2.5 cents at 406 and a quarter. November soybeans up 5.5 at 1067 and three quarters. December Chicago wheat up 2.25 at 620 and a half. December Kansas City wheat down 1 at 557. December spring wheat up 3/4 of a cent at 559 and a half. Really some pretty impressive stuff here. Spot month corn futures trading their best level since August 2019. Who would have thought that here in the middle of harvest 2020 that spot month December corn futures would be above $4? Really some pretty phenomenal stuff. In the soybean market, we are not quite back to those highs from last week, but very close, within 10 or 11 cents. The SRW wheat market is trading its best level in almost 6 years. We traded the best level since December 2014 overnight. Spot month HRW wheat futures traded their best level since August 2018, so more than some 2-year highs there. And the spring wheat market best since January 2020. So really some pretty phenomenal stuff here across the complex. Ethanol production is slowly recovering. The gap between this year and last year, I would say, is narrowing, certainly. Weekly output last week, 931,000 barrels per day. That was up 1.5% on the week, but still down 3.6% versus the same week last year. The 4-week average ethanol production, 912,000 barrels per day. That's down about 5% versus the same week last year. So certainly some improvement being made, but we are not back to what I would call pre-virus levels by any stretch. Gasoline demand was off 3.6% on the week. It was 8.6% below the same week last year. So we're just not back to normal in terms of driving habits or ethanol production, although things have improved, but kind of leveled off, I guess, to some extent. China bought more U.S. soybeans yesterday. USDA confirmed another flash sale of 261,000 metric tons. That's just south of 10 million bushels to Chinese buyers. The buying remains aggressive. Export sales for the marketing year to both China and all destinations combined are record high. Fund traders continue to build length across the grain complex. At yesterday's close, private groups estimated that funds were net long 192,000 contracts of corn. That would be the largest net long position in the corn market for the funds since May of 2018. Funds estimated to be net long 253,000 contracts of soybeans. That would be, essentially a record long. We've kind of been at those levels for a couple of weeks now. And they were estimated to be long 50,000 contracts of SRW wheat, which is approaching extreme territory historically. So funds, very aggressive buyers and holding some very aggressive length here across these markets. September soybean crush was better than expected. NOPA reported September crush at 161.5 million bushels. That was about 1 million above the pre-report trade estimate. Now, the number was down, of course, versus the last several months, but was actually a record for the month of September. September is typically a slow month for processors. They get into pre-harvest maintenance. So actually a really good number, all things considered. We've got our weekly export sales report this morning. Of course, everything delayed a day this week because of the Columbus Day holiday. Row crop sales, again, expected to be very good. We've got the estimates for corn sales, 600,000 up to 1.2 million. Soybean sales expected to be excellent, 1.5 to 2.2 million. Expected wheat sales expected to come in 200,000 to 600,000. The weather situation, still not great at all. There's still some very dry conditions being projected for the vast majority of the country. There was some stuff in the long-term forecast this morning suggesting that there could be some rain for western Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma, the southeast corner of Kansas, and this is in the long-term forecast, and that's still not by any means a drought-busting event if realized, because you've still got the vast majority of both of those states very dry. Texas still projected to be very dry. Colorado, Nebraska, not much relief there, but a little bit of a shift in that we had some rains added for those eastern portions, of Kansas and Oklahoma. Looking at the cattle market here, we had kind of a mixed bag, lower fat cattle futures, mixed bag in the feeder cattle futures yesterday. Cash trade has been light so far this week, 105 to 108. We'll see what develops here today. Ahead of the cash open, the Dow Jones is up about 80 points. The S&P is up 9. We've been down, I think, for the last 3 days in the stock market. The bound's about flat. U.S. dollars a little bit lower. Crude oil is down 34 cents at 40.62. I did a podcast episode and also a YouTube video on corn spreads yesterday. If you were interested in this situation regarding corn spreads and the fact that a lot of the carry has come out of the market, certainly go and pull up that episode. I had some charts and some interesting statistics that you may want to take a look at. Remember, as always, if you need some help with your grain marketing, if you'd like to know what I'm doing, go to standardgrain.com, click on grain marketing plan, check out that subscription service for $49 a month. I will let you know when, how, and specifically I am pricing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year. It's broken down by crop year, and by percentage. You can cancel it at any time. There's no obligation. There's no acreage fee. There's no other fee involved. That's it. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. I will talk to you next week.